this room. There's nothing worthwhile that could ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves when my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for, to be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord.
Yes, Holy Spirit, your presence here in this very room has enlightened and magnifying every heart in this room. It has anointed and touched each and every person who is here and in the sound of my voice. Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Welcome to share and show and reveal the highest and the best for all of us. Right here at the East Bay Church of Religious Science, I'm declaring that there is only the open heart here. It is only the way in which we get to sense, feel, and know that the presence of God is right here doing the work for us, in us, and all around us. Yes, my friends, I am so grateful to know that this power, this presence continues to lift us up to the high road of life. Let going of all that no longer serves us and allows us to embody that which we desire at the heart of our being. Our hearts are what continues to guide us and direct us. And as we stay within this heart and in this love that's already filled in this very room, we know that each and every person truly is blessed. And I'm giving thanks and praises for our minister, Reverend Celeste, who is our opening to our higher good, who is guiding and sharing and allowing us to be that magnificent being that we are already. I give thanks for her willingness to step up, step in, and be the light that is always shining at the center of our being, but she is taking it out into the community all over this planet. And I give thanks for the rest of the ecclesiastical team, Reverend Anthony and the practitioner corps, who also hold the light, hold the high watch, hold the vision for each and every one of us that goes before us. And just know our path is lit. I give thanks for the boards and the members on the board of trustees, because they are the one who continues to guide the business of who and what we are, the business about God. They allow and set forth this idea that we too are great and magnificent. And so I give thanks for our musical team, our ministries, all of our ministry, our youth kids, our audio, sound, the bookstore. I give thanks for you who are here today to sense and feel and know your magnificence, to come from this place, to be in this place, always, in every way. I give thanks. I'm knowing that this and so much more is ours. And I simply let it be, knowing that it is done. It is done well. And so it is. Amen.
Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. I see a new territory that I've never saw before. It's like a fire of transformation, and it's breaking through my core. It's shining in the darkness. I can see the light of day. Man.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, East Bay. Good morning. Ooh, thank you. I'm Helen Anderson. I am a licensed practitioner emeritus. And I just want, first of all, to let you know that we do have the junior church and the teens. They're meeting in the back of the sanctuary for anyone who would like to participate. Be present in the back. And the other message I'd like to start off with is to let you know that people with the purple stole, and I know most of you know about it, but for those who are not aware, this symbolizes that you can come up to a practitioner who is licensed and ask for a prayer request or ask for prayer, even just to get a good hug. But we all hug, so, we're a hugging church, which is great. But it's also, we have a prayer room, which is in the back, and we'll be there to meet you, too, for prayer. So, anything else? That's it? Okay. So, there is our sacred covenant, which you'll find in the back of the chairs in front of you, and I know the people in the front already have theirs. So we're going to stand and we're going to say this together. Thank you for stretching. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with in all its blessed expressions. Because I know that my highest purpose is to glorify God, therefore know that I am a revelation of God as wisdom. I further know that I am the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For it is written, wisdom comes with the ability to be still. Let stillness direct our words and actions. Wisdom expresses through love. It is the pure, peaceful, compassionate, and produces a harvest of good deeds. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see myself as an expression of the divine love in action. I now intend to experience myself in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing that the truth about myself. I am inspired to live as love in the expression of wisdom. I am awakening the divine knowingness within me. I am creating and holding a sacred container for healing. I am demonstrating compassion through the generous service of our community. I am studying, teaching, and exemplifying oneness through my baptism of the various traditions. I am engaging spiritual activism that empowers the social upliftment towards the common good. As I now accept the highest expression of my life, I know that I am revealed in a way that glorifies God and the service of the highest and the greatest good of all who are touched by my presence. I am grateful. God is gracious. And amen. Amen.
So much. Thank you, Helen. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Reverend Celeste. I am your senior minister. I like to call myself your spiritual leader, and sometimes I actually live up to that. So, I heard you. I want to point out a couple of things in our sacred covenant, and those are, I am inspired to live as love in the expression of wisdom. I am awakening the divine knowingness within me. So we're going to be talking about enlightenment today. Yesterday was Bodhi Day. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention is I am studying, teaching, exemplifying oneness through the mysticism of various traditions. So as you notice, we were with Judaism last week, and today we're going to be spending a little time in Buddhism because we honor all paths to the divine. We are open and affirming. We absolutely welcome and affirm you for whatever you call your gender or your non-gender identification, your sexuality, your path of whatever religion or truth or no religion at all. Just know that all of you are welcome here, and we celebrate your essence. And it is my joy to welcome you here. I do want to point out that when I was reviewing my notes this morning, something popped across my screen, and it said that Lisa Bayless's birthday is today. Happy birthday. I didn't know where Vanessa was going with that. But we won't single you out because we know everybody else in December who has a birthday are waiting to do that at the end of the month. But Lisa's also our vocal inspiration today, so we do want to give her lots of love, yes? And while we're giving love, I want to invite anyone who is here for the very first time to please stand so that we may confer a blessing upon you. Yes. Please remain standing. And the congregation raises our hands in your direction. We say, welcome to East Bay Church of Religious Science. We know who you are. You are an individualized expression of love, intelligence, beauty, wisdom, peace, joy, freedom. We're so glad you came. We celebrate you. Welcome to the East Bay Church of Religious Science. Please take your seat with honor. And for the rest of us, while you got all that love working, give it to one another with a hug, a handshake, a smile. Just give some love.
Okay, let's find our way back to our seats because we want to hear what Marlon has to say for this community opportunities. You know Marlon, everybody. Here he comes. Marlon! He goes, yoo-hoo!
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. as we settle down for these opportunities and community announcements. To our first-time visitor, there he is. Be sure to come to our tape room after service. It's in the it's in the bookstore now. Okay. To get your free CD of today's service. Another way of saying welcome again to East Bay Church of Religious Science. Thank you for your presence. Our service would not be the same without you. Indeed. Practitioner prayer support. A pillar of spirituality is prayer in some form or fashion because it changes lives. Prayer works. Our licensed practitioners are available for prayer after service in our prayed up prayer room. Don't go home with what you came here with that's not benefiting you. Okay. Indeed. This week at East Bay, things are going on. First thing, practitioners. There is a practitioner meeting today at 12:30 p.m. On Wednesday, December the 12th, a Beacon of Light meeting at 4 p.m. Also, a young adults gathering is at 6:30 p.m., followed by a candlelight service rehearsal, which is at 7:30 p.m. So a lot's going on Wednesday, and there's still others that I'll go get to later. Saturday, December the 15th, the Spiritual Man Group, headed by Reverend Anthony, has changed. Well, we'll get that together, and I'll announce it when who's right. All right. Our ongoing midday meditation, 12:30 to 1 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, is here in the sanctuary. Provide a space and opportunity to balance your mind, body, and soul. For meditation is invaluable for a healthy perspective. I mean, there's no coincidence that before our service on Sunday there's meditation, before Wednesday service there's meditation, we have midday meditation. Amen. It's invaluable. Ask me how I know. All are welcome, of course, to our Wednesday night Healing and Revealing service with the intent to embrace oneness or wholeness and release the stuff that is not real beneficial to you. Meditations is 6:15. The service is at 6:30 p.m. As the holiday season moves forward, holiday giving and donation, we're requesting that you please participate in our homeless program by donating tarps, construction bags, non-perishable food items, new socks, feminine products, baby wipes, unused toiletry, such as soap, hand sanitizer, lotion, packs of tissue. Also needed water, tents, raincoats, and 1-gallon Ziploc bags. For more information, contact practitioner Ona Afre, who I refer to as our Mother Right, at her number 510-472-6935. 632. And it's in your bulletin, and I saw her come in, so she's around today as well. Kwanzaa. We have a member of the Kwanzaa committee, Vince Dunn, to give you information about Kwanzaa in that regard. You want to use that one, Vince?
Hello, Peace Bay. I am Vince Dunn, a member of the Kwanzaa Event Committee. We would like to invite you to attend and participate in this year's Kwanzaa celebration and feast. You may not realize it, but this will be our 15th year celebrating Kwanzaa here at East Bay. 15 years. Not only that, we continue to produce one of the largest Kwanzaa celebrations in the city. Okay? It will be held on Saturday, December 29th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. here at East Bay. The theme this year is Ujamaa, which means cooperative economics. We still need volunteers to help us with food distribution, decorations, ushering on the day of the event, and setup and cleanup. Please stop by the Kwanzaa table located in the front of the church and sign up to help, and we encourage you to donate a gift. It could be we prefer educational gifts for boys and girls and books for children, okay? After all, it is due to all your support and help over the years that has enabled us to continue this wonderful tradition. We look forward to seeing you at this year's Kwanzaa celebration. Thank you.
All right.
Oh yes, we're having a bake sale as well today. There's all kind of food back there, but we're having a bake sale to help raise money for the Kwanzaa celebration. We need all the money we can get because we're going to put on a party. It's going to be a big one. So please participate in the bake sale and come and let's party together. All right? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vince. I'm reminded of Ujamaa when I was in East Africa and Tanzania after they gained their independence. Ujamaa was one of the primary things or principles that they used to restructure their economy, particularly as it relates to the urban co-ops, agricultural co-ops. So, in Nkrumah, Uhuru Nakazi as well, Freedom with Work. I thought you might be interested in that. Okay. For children who are participating in the Kwanzaa celebration, rehearsals. Be sure to bring them to the rehearsals. There on Saturdays, December the 15th and December the 22nd. That's 2 to 4 p.m. for the children's rehearsal. The Health and Wellness Ministry will be having a plate sale, a healthful food plate, no doubt, 12 to 1:30 p.m., December the 16th, a fundraiser for the Well-Being Black History Month event in February. East Bay Holiday Service on December 24th, New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. I'm real ahead of myself, aren't I? Okay, Christmas Eve from 6 to 8 p.m. I guess that's before Santa. East Bay will host an annual holiday service entitled We Are the Light, continuing. The service will be followed by a dessert reception. We request that each family attending bring a dessert. We would also need volunteers to help. For more information, contact Reverend Anthony. You can call him at 510-381-4343. East Bay's business directory is here. East Bay continues to develop a network of our community-owned businesses as a resource for you. Visit our website for more information on East Bay's trusted business owners. Ujamaa. Okay. The database. East Bay is committed to having a valid, up-to-date data on our new database system. So please provide, if you have a new address, phone number, and email information by December 15th. There are forms in the back of the sanctuary and in the fellowship hall. We are grateful for your cooperation. We seek to stay in touch with you, and you back there. Okay. Thank you for your attention to these announcements and your consideration for the community opportunities that I presented. And so it is.
Yoo-hoo! Marlon. Okay, guys, now it's time for this birthday girl to celebrate with us by just allowing us to hear the vibrations of her songs. Okay, so we got Lisa Bayless and her company. You're mighty welcome, my sister.
Again, good morning. Thank you for all this amazing love and light. There is no other place I'd rather be right now but right here. So wonderful. I'm just so full. And today I'm sweet 16. I'm also dyslexic. Figure. 57 babies rock, huh, Pastor? Yes. My sister has traveled all the way from Alabama, and she just surprised me. This is my baby, my older sister, was my duck sister, Anna. Stand up, Anna. Say hello to the people. She's here. She just surprised me. I love it. Bless you. Vanessa, I just have to say this. Thank you. Vanessa did something amazing last night. She ambushed me and took me to see the Oakland Interfaith Choir at Davies Symphony Hall in San Francisco. It was awesome. Hey, Robert. It was awesome. So I love you and thank you so much and bless you all. Thank you. A thrill of hope. A weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Holy night, the skies are brightly shining. This is the night of our dear Jesus' birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appears and the souls felt their worth. the thrill of hope. A weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel's voice says, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night divine.
Oh, night divine. Led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. Led by a light of a star so sweetly gleaming, here came the wise men from Orient's land. A thrill of hope, the weary soul rejoices. The yonder breaks a new and glorious morning. Fall down, fall down, fall down
on your knees.
Can
Oh,
you
hear the angel's voice says, oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night divine. Oh, holy night. Oh, night divine. Holy night when Christ was born. Oh, holy night. Oh, holy night. Oh, holy. Bear with me for 1 second. God bless you.
When there is peace in my mind, there will be peace in the earth. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace in the earth.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Peace Peace inside my heart. God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart. God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my heart. God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart. God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, peace inside the earth. God and only God I live to see. Peace inside the earth. God and only God I live to see. Peace inside the earth. God and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth. God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om.
When there is peace in my mind, there will be peace in the earth. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace in the earth.
Lisa Bayless, Vanessa Wynn, Yesefu on bongos, Bruce on drums. Byron on drums, sorry. Om Shanti. Shanti Om. Philip, were you also on congos? Were you playing? Okay. I couldn't see around the corner. Well, you heard me say Eightfold Path then. After about 4 times. Yes, good morning, good morning. We're celebrating the peace on earth aspect of life. And we're doing that this morning through the Buddhism faith. And so what has been created after various conversations about the music today, I'm trusting that you are now all zenned out. Very good place for me to step into. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Shanti Om. Peace inside my mind. There's a very direct correlation between peace inside my mind and peace on earth. There are all kinds of holiday cards that say peace on earth, as if it's going to come from somewhere out there, somewhere. But it starts right here. Peace on earth starts with me. There was a lady who was visiting. She was looking for a Unity church a couple of weeks ago. She said, I said, well, you know, there's a couple of Unity churches I can tell you about. She said, no, this is fine. The only thing I missed was let there be peace on earth at the end. I said, yeah, I did that for many, many years at the end of my service. We won't be doing that for a while because I'm kind of over it right now. But at some point, we may have that song come back. But it's not just about singing it and saying it, but it is about being it, right? That's what Gandhi said, right? Be the peace that you want to see in the world. And so this morning, I want to be with that peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see aspect of life. Sounded like Michael this morning, I guess, because I saw him yesterday. I don't even know if he said that or not. But because yesterday was a celebration of when Gautama Buddha came into his enlightenment, and they call it Bodhi Day. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the principles and how we have been taking some of that sentiment in our work that we do in practicing the presence. And so there are different levels of spiritual development and diverse problems that us human beings have, different kind of concerns, different capacities for understanding. So we're not always on the same page together, and what that can create is some friction, you know. But the Dhammapada is what I refer to in the book of the month, Divine Work Play, written by Celeste A. Frazier. In week 49, I talk about the Buddha mind. And the Dhammapada says all we are is the result of what we have thought. And surely we remember that we receive that through the science of mind, because we are knowing that thoughts are things. And knowing that thoughts are things, it's a very creative energy, these thoughts that we have. Each individual thought is already creative, and then when you continue to have the same thoughts over and over and over again, you continue to create the same thing over and over and over again. And until you have a different thought, you continue to have the same experience. And so that's how the Dhammapada is saying it. All we are is a result of all that we have thought. And so the Dharma of liberation, the Pali Tipitaka, is that Buddhist text from the Theravada aspect of Buddhism that talks about man yearning and suffering and the complexities that we have as we strive to transcend and move past the duality of human life. It's a challenge. Because we talk about how it is that we are one with God, or we want to be one with Source or Great Spirit or Allah or whatever we call Jehovah, whatever we call that supreme presence. And yet we act as though we are separate from it at times. And so in this book, Divine Work Play, I say, in order to achieve the Buddha nature, also known as awakened mind or enlightenment, the Buddha proposes that we have knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. I'm going to talk about those in a moment. But what I also want to point out to you is that in the science of mind principles, what we say is that we believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it, right? Because sometimes we're not always conscious of it. Sometimes we think there is something outside of God that needs our attention. And that's when we run into these things that we're calling suffering. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about suffering as we move forward in this conversation. But seeking happiness is what we're all seeking to do. And when we walk this balance between good and the absence of good, when we try to find a way to choose for our highest good, we maintain a responsibility for our decisions. That's the part about religious science that just bugs the heck out of people. It calls for responsibility. And I say it time and time again, but some people may dismiss it as a Reverend Celeste thing, but it's not. It's a science of mind thing. And so the Four Noble Truths give us a theoretical framework for Buddhism. And what this princely being did as he walked out of his castle with all of his riches and everything that he thought that he would ever want or need, never having to think about the word need or having to think about the word want, he proceeded to walk outside of this beautiful, perfect world that he had been living in. And then he started to notice things that he had never seen before. Death, sickness, poverty, old age, and even birth. These were things that were showing through the people that he was perceiving, showing him that everything wasn't nirvana for everybody. Everything wasn't joy for everybody. Everything wasn't easy for everybody. And it was jarring to his system. You know what that's like when you go into an environment that's not what you're used to, and you feel shaken in some way, but it always brings you some insight. It always brings you a greater understanding about this thing called life. And so in noticing that, he came to the conclusion through the first noble truth that all life is suffering. I don't happen to agree with that, but I will say that there is suffering, and I'm also going to go so far as to say suffering is optional. Pain is a part of life, but suffering is optional. And so, looking at the concern that we have for our integrity and our long-range happiness and the immediate sphere of human relations, we are looking for a way to see life at peace. Peace with ourselves, peace with each other. And we're looking to fulfill those family and social responsibilities and restrain from the bitterness and the conflict and the violence which infect human relationships. And they bring immense suffering to the individual, to society, and to the world. So what we are noticing that is in the Dhammapada, the intention is to avoid what they call evil. I just call it people that don't understand the presence of God, because evil is live spelled backwards. They don't understand the life energy that is within them. But the Dhammapada says cultivate good. and cleanse one's mind. And it asks us to do this by avoiding irritability. It's a tough one, huh? Avoid irritability in word, deed, and thought. I did a checklist on myself. I haven't mastered that one. I've mastered many of them, but I haven't mastered that one. Exercise self-control. Well, I usually do, but I have my moments. I don't know about you. You know, sometimes things just slip out of my mouth and I don't know why I did that. I was on set one day. It was a TV show, and I had a guest starring part, and we had been standing around for a while, and I could tell the director was ready, and the star was over there, chat, 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 chat. And I don't know why this flew out of my mouth. I was like, get over here, dude. And everything on the set stopped. Oh, my God, what did she do? What did I do? I'm like, oh, my God. Everybody's looking at me like I shot somebody. Because there's a hierarchy, you know, and you don't cross certain lines. And don't ask me why that flew out of my mouth. Many things that come through are things that I want to come through, but every once in a while, some things just slip out. And another specific in the Dhammapada is to treat people with kindness and compassion. Now, I'm pretty good with that most of the time. I don't know about y'all. You know, when we get like triggered, then there's times when we might be as compassionate as others. You know, I try to kind of level out that whole conversation about the sitting president, because people just go ballistic sometimes. You know, when you try to point out some good or try to have a little compassion for, you know, him, it's a struggle sometimes. It's a struggle sometimes to be kind when people are being cruel. And so the Dhammapada also asks us to live honestly and righteously. That I do. You know, we're not always interested in hearing what honesty there is to say. And I have no qualms about bringing forth honesty. How about you? Control sensual desires. And a lot of the times they talk about that in terms of adultery, but there are other ways that we can also control our sensual desires. Speak the truth, check. Live an upright, sober life, check. Now, you can do your own checklist. I'm not looking to see what you're doing and what you're not doing. But those are some of the things that they're asking us to think about when you're thinking about happiness and fulfillment, which is our theme for the month. Okay? So now, if we believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us, and then we want to become conscious of it, it seems like all of that stuff would line right up with that, right? All right. Now, the other thing about the Dhammapada is that it asks us to recognize karma. Most of y'all refer to it as karma. And that's also about showing people, either through a natural desire for happiness or freedom from sorrow, the means to achieve these objectives. So basically, they're saying abstain from evil and cultivate the good. I'm saying when you cultivate the good, you will abstain from any idea that there's an absence of good. And so they're asking in this text for ethical conduct. Call it sila. So Buddha gave his teaching for the happiness of many. That was his intention. And he was seeking to know universal love and compassion for all of us. Compassion, or karuna, is love, charity, kindness, tolerance, emotional tolerance, and wisdom, intellectual. So understand that that means a mental discipline is called for. And in calling forth a mental discipline, we're looking back at the Four Noble Truths. The first, of course, was all life is suffering, and we've already talked about that. The second is the cessation of suffering. The third is the Eightfold Path, which leads to the cessation of suffering. And the fourth is the end of suffering. And so what we say in religious science is that we believe the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is surely to be attained by all. See how Ernest Holmes did that? All right. I just want y'all to understand that the creator of Science of Mind was pulling from different faiths when he was creating this philosophy. And that although some of this may seem foreign, it's not foreign in what we say we believe. So now I'm going to go back to divine workplay. The first noble truth is the nature of suffering. Often when we are separate from what is pleasing, we may experience suffering. You are likely to find yourself suffering when you are clinging to something or someone. Okay? There are times when we cannot accept change. That change may mean that someone died. That change may mean that there was a change in jobs. That change may mean there was a change in your relationship status. That change may mean anything. But it is always going to be in more of an emotional struggle when we are not accepting that things may change, and that if we are attached to things being a certain way, then we are bringing about our own suffering. And so the reasonable one, I suppose, is grief. And then there's other kinds of fear-filled emotions that come from that can span a whole wide range of things, including jealousy, anxiety, misery, etc., etc. And then Divine Workplace says, the second noble truth is the origin of suffering. Suffering comes from craving for sensual pleasures or craving to eliminate or destroy something or someone. The third noble truth is the cessation of suffering. To stop suffering, you must be free from it by not relying on the thing that you crave. The fourth noble truth is the Eightfold Path. So here we are back again at the Eightfold Path. So I want you to understand that there are a couple of different approaches to this Eightfold Path, actually three. One is in the wisdom category, and we already kind of pointed out about the wisdom that was in our sacred covenant that we cherish. The second aspect of this Eightfold Path has to do with moral discipline or ethical conduct. And the third aspect of the Eightfold Path is mental discipline or concentration. So under the heading of wisdom, we want to look at right understanding things as they are. Now, the Four Noble Truths explain things as they are, that there are two kinds of understanding: knowledge and accumulated memory or intellectual grasping regarding whatever is going on, whatever the data might be. And I am in the process of having this conversation with students as they They want to bring their intellectual understanding, or they want to bring their logical minds into the classroom in a spiritual community, and that's not what I'm looking for. And so it's not simply about memorizing, and it's not simply about being able to recall the data about something. The other kind of understanding is a real understanding, what they call in Buddhism penetration, or Padiveda, seeing the true nature without labels. And that's what we say that we're about here at East Bay Church, that we're welcoming and affirming. So we don't need labels to be able to see the true nature of someone, do we? So that's right understanding. That's one. These fall under wisdom and concentration. Right thought, selfless renunciation or detachment. Thoughts of love and nonviolence are extended to all. What we don't want are selfish desire, ill will, hatred, and violence. Those are the result of the lack of wisdom. Individual wisdom, social wisdom, political wisdom, all of this can create violence if it's not understood. Now, that's wisdom and concentration. The next aspect has to do with moral discipline, right speech, no lies. I don't have a lot of tolerance for lies myself. I don't know about you. No backbiting, malicious talk. No harsh, rude, impolite, malicious, abusive conduct. No idle, useless, foolish babble and gossip. Well, enough said. And it's not the first time you've heard me talk about how I don't like those things. But, harsh is always something that's very subjective. What matters is what your intention is. It may feel harsh when you receive it, but what the intention is what this is talking about. Right action. Promote moral, honorable, peaceful conduct. Abstain from destroying life, stealing, dishonest dealings, illegitimate sex, and lead a peaceful and honorable life. Now, pretty much everybody in here is grown, right? So you know right, what right is, right? So nobody has to explain what right is. I don't use the word sin. I don't use that. That has no relevance to me because there's so much baggage around that is not even earned by us. And yet, we always have an opportunity to choose to promote peaceful conduct. And when we're being destructive, when we're destroying, someone, something, I don't care if it's an animal or an insect, if you're destroying life, then that's not ahimsa. Okay? Ahimsa is ultimate compassion. That means you see a spider, you get it on a piece of cardboard, you take it outside. Some people are just like, done. But that wouldn't fall in alignment with this particular invitation in terms of the Eightfold Path, right? And the people that think about that also choose to do things, and I'm going to try to find out how I can get this. They now have toilet paper made out of bamboo and what's the other thing? Sugar? I'm trying to remember what it is, but it doesn't require cutting down trees. Yes, yes. I think I have to look up the brand name. It's escaping me right now. But there are ways that we can continue to honor Mother Earth by not destroying things so readily. You know, by not trying to rob the earth with fossil fuel and continue to use other things like the solar panels that we have on this roof in order to get our energy. You know, there are different ways that we don't have to rape what is alive in order to line somebody's pockets. So, right livelihood is to engage in an occupation that promotes life and does not bring harm. I don't know about you, but my soul doesn't sit right if I'm on a job that does not promote life. And so whenever I've been in a situation where it felt like I was feeding corporate greed rather than promoting life, I always would find a way to pray about a greater outcome than what was being experienced. And I've alluded to the many things that have been on my desk over the years and that have been in the headlines. And so I needed to bring light in a lot of those situations. And so when you find that your soul is not congruent with what you are doing, there's a reason for that. They have it under the title of moral discipline, but I'm calling it goodness. And I'm knowing that goodness needs to prevail wherever we are. We're saying that we believe in the unity of all life, right? That's in our statement of what we believe. So I'm just saying. Under mental discipline or concentration, right effort, prevent evil and unwholesome states of mind from arising. That one's kind of tricky. You know, stuff might pop up because you don't know how people were raised. And even in doing, you know, some of my counseling sessions and stuff comes up and people are kind of embarrassed about stuff that they did or said or whatever. And it's like, you know, it didn't just come from somewhere. People have different things going on in their family that they were raised in. And those things don't fall off unless we give it attention and request that it fall away. So it does take right effort to prevent this kind of state of mind from arising. Right effort invites us to get rid of those things, but to produce and cause to arise good and wholesome states of mind not yet risen. You ever do something nice and say, why did I do that? That was so nice of me. I mean, I have. I mean, not that I'm not a nice person, but it was like, dang, that was good of you to do that. And those kinds of thoughts and those kinds of gestures can arise when we set an intention. We set an intention to be the love and not just talk about being the love. And to develop and bring to perfection the good and wholesome states of mind that are already present. So develop that good that you already have, right? Like Maya Angelou would say, sister, you know good, just do good. You know? Right mindfulness. Be diligently aware, mindful, and attentive regarding activities of the body, kaya. Now you might do that through yoga, or you might do that through something called Brima. Practitioners are going to get a chance to experience that next month as they do their self-care meeting next month. But also be diligent about the care of your feelings, right? Vedana, your feelings. You know, take care of your feelings. Activities of the mind, sita. Take care of those ideas, those thoughts, those conceptions, and those things, right? We have to watch our minds. We have to be vigilant about our minds. And we also have to take care that we're not letting people drive us crazy. Yes? Now, nobody can drive you there. You may be a willing passenger, but the language is, they driving me crazy. But you went along, just saying. And to concentrate on your breathing. Anapanasati. You do that a lot when you're meditating, right? Take care of that breathing. Be aware of that breathing. Let that breathing cleanse you. Let that breathing get you still and awake and aware of what's going on beyond all the activity, beyond all the appearances, beyond all the effects, right? And then right concentration. And right concentration can bring us into various stages, you know, and it leads us into dismissing passionate desires, lust, ill will, languor, worry, restlessness, skeptical doubt, and joy is maintained. So in all of these different ways in this eightfold path, it's not unlike, you know, what you're seeing in some of the other scriptures. It's just simply taking care of yourself and taking care of each other. That's what it all boils down to. And in Divine Workplay, it says, you know, knowing these four noble truths gives us right knowledge and is the first step of following the eightfold path. It is essential to look at life in order to understand how reality works. We must be discerning and wise. We must seek to be free and thereby have the right aspiration. We must notice our speech and speak in truth, not gossip nor slander. In other words, have right speech. We must not kill, steal, or be unchaste, which is to have the right behavior. We must engage in an occupation that promotes life, especially for monks, in order to have the right livelihood. And we must keep our gaze forward until we are out of crisis. This will move us into right effort. And since ignorance is our adversary, we must have right mindfulness by seeing everything as it really is. We must look at our moods and emotions, thoughts and feelings, and witness without reaction so that we keep the mind in control of the senses. You must meditate on that of which you are disgusted or afraid until you no longer have aversion to it. So that's how I capsulized it in Divine Workplay. And so I just want you to just take a moment now and think about maybe some things that you said, maybe some things that you've done. And has any of those things recurred in your life? If it reoccurred in your life, you don't have to call it good or bad. Just call it karma. Because that's the thing about energy. It has to go somewhere. That's why they say what goes around comes around, right? And so in this awareness, I want to invite us to really look at what we say we believe, not just what we're speaking out loud every week, but what we really believe, because that's what's showing up in our lives. And in this eightfold path, we kind of have a roadmap. Some people use the 10 Commandments. Some people use, you know, the 2 Commandments, love one another as you love yourself. You know, whatever it is, it basically is something that we get to embrace every single day. And in this season, when we're saying peace on earth, goodwill towards men and women, we get to start with ourselves. And then we get to actively do it, not just at the end of the year, but we get to practice in December for what we get to do all of next year and after. Yes? I think I hear a collective yes. And so it is. So if all licensed practitioners and ministers would stand with me, I'm moving into prayer now. I know that it is this presence of God that is love, that is peace, that is my very essence, that is my truth, my substance, my allness. And because I know that this is true for me, I know it is true for everyone under the sound of my voice. Those who are on live stream, those who are in this building, those who are hearing this recording at a later time or seeing this video on YouTube or wherever it may be. I am knowing that in this awareness that love is what lifts us. It is love that brings us into a state of alignment with our good. It is love that keeps us out of suffering at the mental level. And it is love that continues to know the truth beyond the appearances. It is peace that is cultivated as we actively seek to be the love that we want to see in the world. And it is peace that we enjoy when we do so. How wonderful it is to know that the wholeness, the perfection, the completeness is assured to us by the love that created each one of us. The wholeness is assured in our spirits, and we get to accept the outpicturing of this wholeness in our mental, emotional, physical, and all of our subtle bodies. I speak a word for anyone who has put something in that treatment box, or for anyone who did not fill out a prayer request, for anyone who did not contact our pastoral care ministry, but for anyone who is moving through some kind of mental challenge, some kind of physical challenge, some kind of emotional challenge, I am knowing that the wholeness of the Spirit in each person is revealing to every dimension of their being the truth of their completeness that cannot and will not be denied by the architect who created it in the first place. And because it is God's intention, it must be fulfilled. I speak a word of peace for Rosalind Mohammed as she considers the many challenges that her son Mohammed is having on the physical aspect of life. I speak a word of absolute revealing now for him, that he may know that his spirit is whole and that there is nothing that needs to be healed. It is simply the allowing of the presence to be revealed. I stand in alignment with each one of his caregivers, knowing that the wisdom of God, the grace of God, and the compassion of God are with them as they approach him in every one of his treatments, every one of their conversations with him, and every decision that they make about his care. I am knowing that it is the presence of love that continues to surround Sasha Werblin, even now as we said goodbye to Gail this week in a very private ceremony, and as she returned back into the invisible realm, we're knowing that this family is now allowing themselves to be not only with the memories, but with the new spirit guide that they have. And for each beloved friend, those who are here and those who are not, may know that there is an indelible space that Gail has left on our hearts. And I know that as we continue to think of her, we will also have an opportunity on January 25th for a more public memorial service. And I just give thanks that each of us are sending our love to those who are carrying it a little heavier these days. I speak a word for those who are troubled about the season of shopping, thinking that that's the reason for the season, thinking that there is not enough that I have to spend, thinking that there is not enough for me to give. I am knowing that there is so much more of us to give than that which is in our accounts. There is so much more for us to give than that which is hidden under our mattresses or wherever we may keep those symbols of currency. We have our love to give. We have our peace to give. We have our goodness to give. And in absolute gratitude for this, I stand with each one of us that we may freely give and freely receive all of our good. I am knowing that in the expansive awareness of this I am that each of us are, that there is no limit giving from the presence, and therefore there is no limit giving for each of us. And so I celebrate this expansive, creative energy of love, of peace, of joy, of wisdom, of freedom. I celebrate its fullest expression, our absolute intention to be in alignment with it and to simply allow it to have its full sway. In gratitude for all of this, I release this word, I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Aho. I like getting my Native American thing in there. Aho. I took a walk down Telegraph yesterday. It was a nice day, and I was passing out flyers about Kwanzaa and passing out flyers about our community outreach. Brother came down the street with this truck. Oh, yeah. And it was like he was headed to a reservation to bring stuff to the people on the reservation that needed stuff. I said, well, that's a beautiful thing. I need to write down his phone number next time he comes up Telegraph so that we can find a way to support some of us who have been neglected on the reservations as well. Particularly those who see a genetic connection. So we're moving into offertory with the awareness that we're giving, not because there is a hole or anything is missing, but because it is our privilege to give. And I turn to the Unexpected Income Program and ask that you repeat after me a few of these steps, and we're going to start with forgiveness. I forgive myself for all of the mistakes I have made. I also forgive and release everyone I perceive to have injured or harmed me. In any way. I see myself as whole, complete, and loving in every area of my life. I know I deserve an abundance of all good things in my life. I know this to be the truth for all people. I accept. I joyously accept my good and give thanks, knowing that infinite mind has responded to my every need. I release these thoughts and feelings of abundance and well-being in faith and in trust. Amen. As the ushers come forward, let that just resonate in your soul as we let the music ministry support us.
God is the stillness deep in your center. God is the love that makes your own heart beat. God is the voice sweetly singing its glory. Open your heart, let the Lord have its own way.
Live streamers, you can text 50155 to East Bay, EASTBAY, all lowercase. 50155 to East Bay. Our kiosk is functioning again. You can go out there now if you want to use that device. Know that there are multiple ways of giving. There's a Facebook end-of-year contribution for those of you who want tax deductions in a different format. You can tell your friends about it if they don't come this way. We're so grateful for the opportunity to give. And in this awareness, I give thanks for the givers, those who have stretched even more to give, those who have stretched not just to receive, but to consciously receive their good. For I know that in this law of circulation, there is a divine design that has put in us from the beginning. I'm grateful for all that these contributions give to our community, to our individuals' expansive spiritual growth, to our facilities that accommodate us in growing our spirits, for the staff and for the supplies that allow us to be able to offer a spiritual nourishment. And I give thanks for the awareness that each one has found something that they're grateful about that has nurtured their soul. In gratitude for it all, I release this word, I let it be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, ushers. Thank you. Here come our youth.
Hi, everybody. Wow. We have a nice group today. We have several groups. We middle ones, and the big ones. So I think let's start with the group that is talking about the bake sale today.
Habari gani. The fourth day of Kwanzaa is Ujama. Ujama can also be paying it forward. Today, how we're paying it forward is we're doing a bake sale. After church, come to the bake sale and get some really good baked goods to support the church.
And the little ones, Maria, this is our facilitator for the baking.
Hi, I'm Maria Calabuto. And today we talked about, we read a story called One Smile, and it was about a little girl that with one smile caused a ripple effect to several people, starting with a boy who had lost his job, right, Dominic? You want to tell the story? What happened to the boy? Okay. The boy was sad, and he had lost his job, and then this little girl smiled at him, and then he kind of paid it forward by fixing somebody's car, and the ripple effects continued. So that was our story. And then the little ones made some cards, some thank you cards that say you're special, or you're important, or you're loved, that they will be distributing to people in the congregation as a thank you.
Hello, everybody. So today we started talking about if you have a goal and you were not to fail, what would you do? And it was really cool because it surfaced all their ideas of what they wanted to do when they grow up. It really kind of exercised their minds. And then we have kind of an open discussion where if you have any questions for random life advice, like I'm here. And of course, more school stuff came up, which I love to talk about. And Solomon, do you want to talk about the other lesson that we did?
Okay, so so we talked about meditation and how, like, let's say your main focus on the meditation is like or like an affirmation to get money. Like, you can get money by doing that and by like focusing your energy towards what you want to receive. My affirmation is I am nice.
My affirmation is I have peace.
My affirmation was I'm encouraged.
My affirmation was peace. My affirmation was fun.
And so lastly, we have a presentation as a gift for Reverend Celeste in the holiday season. So you can go ahead and flip your signs around. Reverend Celeste, our gift for you is a trip home to see your family.
So this is a big surprise, and thanks everyone for keeping this secret. We've been working on this for about 3 weeks, and most of you have done a really good job supporting. There's still an opportunity today. So if you want to hit the kiosk, the bookstore, to contribute to Reverend Celeste's trip home, remember that conversation? So yes. Okay, well, we'll cover it.
Oh, yes, let's stretch our hands to these love you. We love you. We know who you are. We know who you are. And we love you unconditionally. And love you unconditionally. And so it is. And so it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. I thought I found out everything that was going on. Well, thank you so much for your kindness and generosity. I certainly appreciate it. And because you've been kind to me, and I want to be, in right thinking and right acting, I took my first shot at making an apple pie from scratch, so do not pay for that. The crust did not go the way I wanted it to go. And I left out a couple of ingredients in the middle. So that was practice, and I didn't want to throw it away. But do not sell that, please. All right, let's pray out. Oh, Mother, Father God, how wonderful is this grace, this love that created us out of His substance, this love that we celebrate through our cultivating of our own peace, the self-loving that we give to ourselves, and the expansive way that we allow ourselves to awaken to the light within us. Giving thanks for each one here and who's hearing this. Knowing that as we move from this space, we carry a well-awakened awareness of good. And we simply let it move through us and express as us. In gratitude for it all, I release this word and I let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Claire. Pastor Celeste has asked us to sing this wonderful song about gratitude. And so we're going to sing it for you today. You might recognize it. I got my honey on the bass today. Work it out, baby. Let him start. Yeah, this is what she asked us to play today. Gratitude, people. It's all about the gratitude. We want to say thank you. Yeah. Anybody know the song? Hey! She told me to sing it too. Well, I'm looking at the devil and I'm staring at his guns. Fingers start shaking make it to that last verse. Yeah, do your little thing. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey. Fill all the drums, fill all the bass. Hey, baby brother, big brother, play the drum. Hey, yeah. I see y'all over there moving. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you. Sing, don't be shy. Hey, hey. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Hey, Bliss. East Bay, yeah. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Ah, like that. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Y'all seem to want to dance to the music. Well, all day long. We're just everyday people. And we sing a simple song. Yeah, Mama's so happy. Yeah, yeah. Mama starts to cry. Hey, Papa's still saying you can make it if you try. I'd like to thank you for letting me be myself again. Hey, 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 hey. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Come on up here, girl. Hey, East Bay. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Check me out. Check me out. Thank you for letting me be myself again. And the people say at East Bay, thank you.